And with me now is Republican Congressman Austin Scott of Georgia. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, great to see you. So as we just heard there, senators were briefed, and the majority of them seemed reassured that these objects do not pose a threat to the U.S. public, but there were some who differed. And we heard from Senator Rubio and also Hawley saying that they needed to hear from the president, and they were not reassured that there were no threats from these objects to the American public. From your purview, where do you stand on this issue?
Well, I think the sooner that we get the information on the balloons and the sooner we declassify it, everything that can be declassified on it, the better off we as the American citizens and the American public will be. So if they're benign, we need to make sure that the American citizens know that. And if they're not benign, like the Chinese spy balloon, then we need to make sure the American citizens understand what China is continuing to do to our country.
Well, it may be a while until we can find the remnants of these objects, as you heard there in the reporting, specifically because of just how far they are and the difficulty in getting to the location, the difficult terrain there and the weather. So are you saying that you don't take the administration at their word that they're likely benign, because it may be a long time before we actually find them and get conclusive answers?
Oh, no. I'm not here to, blame the current administration or previous administrations. I mean, this is a very serious issue that the United States is facing. The first balloon, the Chinese balloon, the spy balloon, if you will, is a very serious issue and a threat to the United States of America. It is a continuing effort by China to defeat the United States in all aspects, whether it be military or economically. And so if the other balloons were benign, then as soon as we know that for sure, we need to release that to the American citizens, and we need to go back and focus on the one that was not benign and talk and remind the American citizens that whether it be TikTok or fentanyl or the weapon systems that China's developing, they don't call them the Bear Strike, they call them Eagle Strike, and you can guess who the Eagle is. That's all of us as Americans, especially those of us, who are serving our country. And so China's our enemy, and I'll tell you, Deanna, it's going to take all of Americans working together to defeat the threat of China and make sure that we don't go to war with them. And I was a little taken back this week with the fact that less than 2 weeks, China literally flew a spy balloon over the United States of America, and then Ford Motor Company, Bill Ford, announces that Ford's going to team with China to develop batteries, and that's the kind of thing that we can't have as Americans. We can't have corporate America going to the other side to develop their technology and build their vehicles.
So how do you explain that? Because I understand, and listen, that you get consensus from both sides of the aisle on this issue, that it is very difficult to decouple economically from China, and that a lot of Americans, whether it's their jobs or just the overall economy, depend on goods manufactured there. So how do you explain to your public about these jobs that you would like to see at some point really curtailed from being sent there?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, the purpose of the legislation that was passed, and I'm a Republican, I didn't vote for the legislation, and this is the problem with not taking legislation through the actual committee process, where you get to talk about the potential changes that need to be made to it. But I don't think that my colleagues that I serve with on the House Armed Services Committee intended for Chinese technology to be eligible for U.S. tax credits, or for Ford to partner with the Chinese Communist Party to be eligible for tax credits. So I think it would be wise for industry that is moving ahead with the Chinese Communist Party to understand that legislation can be passed that actually changes the way that tax code is written. And I'll tell you, as someone who's on the Armed Services Committee, the idea that we would allow Chinese battery technology on our military installations, that's just not in the best interest of the U.S. citizens.
Well, the United States has also implemented export controls as well, and regarding chips
Sure.
Along the lines that you're speaking. Just quickly, because you are on the House Intel Committee, the House chairman there, Mike Turner, over the weekend said that he was pleased to see a trigger-happy Biden administration, I guess, shoot at these objects that had been flying over U.S. territory and Canada. Is that a policy that you would sign off on, just shoot at whatever's flying over the United States, especially knowing that our radars and our technology have improved as such that we can actually see them better?
Yeah, I agree with Mike on this, and I think most of the members of the Intelligence Committee are going to be on the same page and working with the administration. to make sure that we're able to gather all of the intelligence that we can off of the balloons or whatever other device it may be, and then make sure that we're protecting the American citizens while at the same time gathering all of the intelligence. And then I do think that you'll see an effort from, I think, both parties to declassify more information faster on these issues so that the American citizens have the facts.
All right, Congressman Austin Scott, thank you for your time.